Mike, what's going on, man? Good to have you back.
Yeah, good morning. It's been I've been dealing with this eye infection, and I can see again. So it's been kind of crazy. 2 ER trips, 6 trips to the eye doctor, but I'm almost there. I'm almost there. So.
Nice. Well, I know we both were trying to do the Beckham hairstyle this morning. I got closer than you.
No, I can't.
Amazing. Well, it's an important day today. We're recording. I think it'll be released tomorrow, but football is back.
Yes.
Right? Back
Absolutely.
in action.
Yeah, man, it's only been off for about a month. We've had some friendlies and some league stuff, but EPL, quote unquote, I think was the end of July, pretty much early August, but not much off season this year because of everything that happened with COVID and the shutdown. And so it's good for the hobby. And the problem is we don't have any product really. We got a little bit, but we got select comment. We'll talk about that later in the product segment, but it'd be nice to, look at Panini's dropping a football or basketball product, it seems, every week. So it'd be nice if I could catch up, but
yeah,
we'll get there.
Well, let's jump right into it because I know some leagues are starting today, and really we got a combination of veteran soccer, football collectors that listen and watch your show, and then a lot of new guys. What should the new guys be focused on over the next coming weeks and months starting up?
Really just getting going back and looking at last year's stats, what teams finished, who were the best teams, who were the best players on the best teams, and get familiar with the names.
Okay.
And then get familiar with where the games are going to be broadcast. NBC Sports Network typically will have the EPL. They're now pushing that new Peacock platform.
Oh, yeah.
Going to have some secondary games similar to what everybody's jumping in, man. I've signed up with ESPN Plus. I'm going to have to look at getting that Peacock. ESPN Plus was nice because it had some of it's got some of the lower leagues of the different leagues. I don't want to say necessarily lower, but it's got that the lower, the second tier British League, English League, and which is good. You get to learn about some guys that may be coming up with different teams, transfers, etc. And that's been going on for a couple weeks now. But for the most part, we've got EPL starting. And what's good about that is we've it's a little bit different. We got 3 games, 3 matches on Saturday, and then we've got I think we got 2 on Sunday. I think 2 on Monday, and I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2. It's staggered. And I've been saying this in Discord, and I'm telling you, and I do a lot of consumer behavior type stuff when it comes to cards in the market. And I've been saying stuff like, listen, I am a firm believer that the reason why a lot of this market has exploded is because games have been broadcast during the day and people are working or home. And so, look at NBA games are on at 1:30 in the afternoon. Everybody's locked in. Soccer matches are on, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 noon. I mean, and obviously weekends different, but the exposure to these players and these teams has just been incredible. Because they're not going up against anything else. It's, hey, what's on, 2 o'clock in the afternoon? What's on? Oh, EPL games on, or La Liga or League One. Or, hey, let me put it on in the background. Let me see what happens. Oh, this guy scored. Well, let me pick up my phone and let me go look at his cards, and that's just the nature. And we've seen it with NFL, obviously, Thursday night. The market that we're in is a hyper reactive market, and we have to adjust. I would tell you, don't hold anything at this point. I mean, to an extent, I mean, if David Johnson scores a touchdown and all of a sudden everybody's buying his cars, I mean, probably sell them. I mean, that's just the market that we're in right now. Of course, there's long-term holds, but for the most part, But yeah, so exciting. Now next week we'll have Bundesliga starting, which is going to be huge because we've got Bayern Munich, who's the dynasty team really, and we've got Dortmund, who we'll get into the transfer stuff, but it does appear that Sancho is probably going to be going to Man United, which is huge. I mean, the pop for his cards, it's another pop. And so, the kid from England is going to go now play for, a big time team with a team that's got a lot of young talent on it, that's on the rise. So, we still got Haaland, we still got Gio Reyna, we got Jude Bellingham. That's going to debut, 16 years old for Dortmund, and we've got Rainier. So Dortmund is loaded. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I mean, I'm trying to compare them to another team that's in the other sports. I mean, just think of a team who's just constantly reloading. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it just
reminds me of kind of the Braves right now, right?
I was thinking that's because they got tons of prospects, and they're just, they're loaded, and they're for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's a good comparison, but and so those are really the top two teams that everybody's focused on in the hobby. Of course, Bellingham and Rainier don't have cards yet, so whether that's a whole nother thing in the hobby that we're seeing change, and it's really tough because how quickly can they get the cards out? We know Topps now can get cards out quick, but the popularity and demand it's not really there as a mainstream pack product. So, but it does build anticipation for the product, and we are seeing pre-sale prices that are just through the roof, but the prices are holding or going up. So, but we've got Spain, we've got France, we've got Italy. And I'll just touch on this real quick. This is why I've been such a strong proponent of Chronicles this year, is because the rookie card checklist is so deep that you don't know who's going to break out. And there's a lot of big names that maybe they didn't put in there, but there's a lot of base cards and a lot of parallels that are sitting in Chronicle for the other leagues, not just EPL, but for the leagues. And who knows who's going to break out, or who knows who's going to get transferred to a major team. And we've already seen that.
That's a good point.
With Tonali, whose card, I didn't even realize he had a card in Chronicles. I was buying a sticker. I don't know if I have it here or not. Yep, I've got the Tonali sticker, nice. Which really was the only thing out. I've got a couple of them, and these are getting really hard to find. But and so one of the guys in I don't know if it was Wayne in the Discord had said, yeah, he's got a card, and I went and looked, and I said, oh wow, he's got the XR version, which is a tough pull to begin with, and then it's got an orange parallel, he's got a blue, he's got a red, he's got a base, and as soon as word got out about him transferring, his card was just sitting dormant at $5-10, and now all of a sudden the bases are 30. The numbered cards are, some of them are over $1,500. It just flew and it jumped so fast, and there's a very strong chance he will not have another rookie card the rest of the year. So that's going to be it, and that's going to drive the demand. And what's going to be interesting with that card is because it's got kind of like a foil front, a foil finish. Whether or not that card's going to grade. I'd be interested to see what that card would grade, because it could be condition sensitive, almost like a Topps rainbow foil. So, but just an example of why I'm such a strong proponent of Chronicles in the long run is that it's going to produce, much like 18 Donruss, rookie cards over year. And that's just some of the auctions that are up. But if you look at some of the completed stuff on him and you sort it top to low, high to low, it's holy
moly! Yeah, you're not kidding. That's a beautiful card, by the way.
It is. What's frustrating with Chronicles is that you see the cards and you're like, man, I wish they could make a full set of that. No, XR came out good. That was one that was overlooked, and I'll admit I was not paying attention to that. Wow. Again, I was buying Tonali stickers, and when I was looking online, I didn't see any of the Chronicles. So the other one, is the contenders, and Tonali's not in contenders, but as far as just the popularity of the cards, I think that the frustrating part is that getting the autographs, and we know that in soccer, getting the autographs right now is a huge issue. Yeah. And If there's a way that Panini could do that contenders in a full set, the cards are absolutely beautiful. They really, really pop for soccer. The historic tickets, the rookie tickets, those are commanding big money. And obviously the cracked ices out of 23 are getting, but I could really see a contender soccer commanding huge money. And even if they were to do it in a Chronicles, like, with the 3 different leagues, or I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of those cards. To me, I think they are the best looking cards that have come out this year. Just thinking off the top of my head.
Love it. All right. So let's summarize real quick. So England EPL starts to 12th, which is for us today.
And we'll stagger Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Which is beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
La Liga starts tomorrow, which is Spain, right? Or starts today, but that's they play on Sundays.
Yep.
Bundesliga starts next week. That's the German league. They play Saturdays and Sunday.
And sometimes you'll see some games sprinkled. Like this match is sometimes sprinkled during the week.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's weekends.
Got it. Serie A Italy starts next week as well.
That's Chronicles. You want to, that they put that league in Chronicles. So you definitely, that is important now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the French league, which is
Liga 1 has already started. Yep.
Liga 1 started last week,
and that's interesting because they're not making cards of that particular league. And I've been a proponent in Discord saying it's coming. It has to be. We don't know who owns the license. Okay. And the only way you've been able to get cards of those players is in Champions League. And we'll get some in the Euro, but not much. But Champions League is really why that set has become so popular, because it's the only one that has everybody for the most part. Got it.
Okay. That's helpful. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of action taking place. A lot of action.
That Chronicles. I mean, I know I'm sound like I'm a stock owner, and I'm telling you right now, we're going to look back. And then I think hobby right now, I haven't checked it in the last week, but it was floating around 400, and retail was starting to climb. Guys, I've been telling everybody, buy the cellos, get the cellos, because they're gonna dry up and they're gonna jump as soon as these players start playing. We're gonna turn around and Chronicles hobby is gonna be $1,000 a box, and we're gonna scratch our head and say, when did that happen? And it's because a couple of cards are gonna push they're gonna push the number up.
Yeah, I'm looking now. Hobby's hovering 420, 430 now.
It's bumped up a little bit. It's gone up by 10%.
Are people finding that in stores and retail stores?
I mean, I've stopped looking 6 months ago because everything that's gone on here in the Charlotte market, it's kind of pointless. But what happened? It sounds like they just only issued like 6 packs per store at Walmart and Target. So definitely the print run was low. No numbered inserts, no autographs. So it's just fine. I mean, it just becomes a rookie card base product, which is fine by me. I think retail is like $10-12. They've been moving steadily, between 15, 18, getting a lot harder to find at 15. That's probably gone now. I think 17 to 20 is about where the market is right now. Okay. Absolutely see that moving into the $25, $30 range within a month. And, just going from there as soon as some of these rookie cards take off.
Beautiful. The only thing we didn't touch on was the Champions and Europa League qualifiers. That's happening now.
Yeah, those are just spread. If you go on to any mainstream soccer site, I mean, I like ESPN's schedule. I just go to the ESPN soccer site and I go to schedule and I see what's coming up. But yeah, you got these games that are going to be sprinkled in. So guys are playing for the country. Again, opportunity for whether a young player gets an opportunity to play and then the spotlight shines on him, or a veteran player goes out there and scores a 2-goal, 3-goal game. It's all upside. It's all plus. I mean, it's just more games, more action, more opportunity to get exposure.
Beautiful. Now, so the Premier League. We were talking about odds earlier, and I think it's interesting because the odds came out. And what are your kind of immediate reactions to that? Obviously, Manchester City is being favored. What else stands out to you?
They're really regarded as the best team. And, last year, Liverpool, everything went their way. And, But I think, generally people do view Man City as the best team, and that's why they're favored. And I think for the most part, that's why people, and that's the team that I follow the most. And I think what just happened was the All or Nothing series on Amazon. They did 2 seasons.
Yep.
Absolutely go watch it. There's Tottenham on right now. They've got 6 episodes up. Tottenham's been great. These All or Nothing soccer they blow away the football, in my opinion. And then I'm a big fan of the football.
Yeah.
But the soccer ones have been tremendous. And there's even one for Dortmund. There's some on Netflix too. So absolutely tons of soccer content to get familiarized. But yeah, Man City's the favorite. And then you've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United. Chelsea has gone out and signed, the big is Havertz and Warner. And so everybody's and those cards are going to be extremely popular. Chances are their first cards will be the Prism EPL in those new unis. Now I've talked endlessly about the Pulisic card last year with him holding up the jersey. So we'll see if they do that. Do they do the holding up the jersey to get the cards in? Because let's face it, the cards are going to come out December. The guys are playing now. I'm thinking we're going to get some holding up of the jersey stuff, and which is great. I mean, if we get an action shot, that's fine. I mean, they could have took action shots in practice. Who knows? But Havertz, first Prism, Timo's, Chelsea, Bruno Fernandes, first Prism is going to be a monster card. And it's funny because I think what we've seen is if you look at what's gone on in basketball or other sports, look at what happened with the LeBron Lakers. Look what's probably going to happen with Kawhi Clippers. Look at what's happened with Brady Bucks. And I think even once like a Cam Patriot card comes out, that one's going to have a lot of juice. So there's been that crossover of sports meeting cards, whereas the base cards or the guy on his team has really become popular. And I think we're going to see an explosion in EPL Prism, like on Bruno, Kai, Warner. I mean, those are just to name a few. Trying to think if there's any other guys that would be. Sancho would obviously be that would be a unique one.
Okay.
If Sancho transfer, I think October 4th is the deadline. I gotta think that they are ready to go. I mean, if you're Panini, you've got to say to yourself, okay, let's get that photo and let's get that card and let's get that in. A Sancho Man United Prism card is going to command a serious coin. And that's what's unique about soccer is that these base cards of guys that are the transfer market's crazy. Every time these guys transfer into a major team in spotlight, their cards are going nuts. Weston McKennie, obviously we talked about Tonali. I mean, every one of these guys, James Rodriguez, that's another notch and another point of where their cards can move in the hobby.
Beautiful. I know we planned on talking about some of the key transfers. You just named most of them.
Yeah, I mean, we want to keep it more hobby specific, and I did rattle off and kind of told you what's going to happen. Now, those cards have moved already, but the next wave are these guys? What's going to happen with Prism come December? I'm scared, man. Like, I can't get my hands on enough soccer, and we all know that what's going on with supply chain and. If I can just get one box of Prism, please. Somebody.
Well, I know from the the backside, all the distributors and the people buying and trying to get a hold of this product, that on the retail side, that orders were cut by 91% for people that ordered. 91%.
What I don't understand with that is why. The business sense of why a product should be cut in this market, I don't get. Other than the fact that, hey, we dealt with the printers being down because of COVID, I don't get it.
The excuses that I'm hearing, I just don't think apply anymore, right? The whole we can't get assets, autographs. Well, we've already found with Prism, inserts really don't matter.
No, and look at Chronicles.
Bonus.
Chronicles retail that's not driving the product.
Yeah.
The base cards and the inserts, the numbered parallels, and we'll get into that. That's why 18 Donruss has exploded again. Numbered parallels in soccer, especially team-colored numbered parallels, are exploding. And they're not going down anytime soon. There's a finite number of that card. If you want a Pulisic Prism blue, you got to pay for it. I think there's 149. I think there's 149 of those. And obviously some are getting sent off for grading. There's only 149 of that card. It's not going down. It's only going to go up, and demand is going to keep climbing. So the numbered team-colored parallels have just exploded.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, but back to that point, I just, Michael, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's distributors kind of getting caught in the wave again, like basketball and even now some football stuff, and they're realizing we can't be selling stuff at below SRP to our buyers, which is going to cause a mad problem. Because it's a great transition into some of the pricing issues we're seeing now, right? We saw a really quick bubble form with soccer, and things have pulled back relatively consistently the last few weeks. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so really the big cards, the 14, the 16, and the 18 prisms, the big names, the Messis, the Ronaldos, Neymar, and Mbappe. Really, those cards came to the forefront very quickly and jumped, exponential to the point where there was some pullback. More inventory came on the market. More people found those cards. I'll give credit to my buddy Neem Patel, who we're going to have on a future show, who's one of the most knowledgeable guys in the soccer market. And his point on his podcast, which is the Purple Patch, is a lot of people uncovered that they had these cards sitting in a box. And we've had some guys in Discord say that too. I don't know if it was Trade Up or who it was, but said, hey, I just found unopened packs. I found a sealed box. I found a box of commons, so to speak. And people are pulling out 10, 20 of each individual card. So naturally, when you see that, there's big lots of a lot of that Prism out there. So people are unearthing it. And it will get out into the market, and it will go to grading, and it'll settle out. But really, if you look at the market, those high-end cards are extremely volatile. And because the population's low, the prices are high, and you got a lot of people jumping in that don't know the market. So where I've tried to stay is really where I stay in all sports. Is I'm on the low end. I'm looking for value. I'm looking for players who the market has not caught up to yet. We've talked a lot about Football Reference. We talked a lot about Transfer Market. There's certain sites who you can get statistics and values. The FIFA ratings have just come out. Believe it or not, I'm going to use those. I haven't dug into them yet, but I'm going to look at FIFA ratings and see whose cards are extremely cheap and whose ratings are extremely high, because the market will eventually catch up. And so we got to remember, the player pool in soccer is huge. It's massive. It's not just one league. It's not just like the NBA or the NFL. It's 5 or 6 leagues that people have to pay attention to. It's a lot like college football. In that there's a massive amount of teams, or college basketball, massive amount of teams, massive amount of conferences, and keeping up with the player pool is tough. But if you can do it, you can be ahead of the market. So point being is there's still significant growth happening at the bottom in the mid-level of soccer. And so you can still go find guys, rookie cards, stickers are definitely on the move. That's a whole nother market that people have to navigate through. And, do you start chasing stickers versus cards? In some instances, you have to. Like Adama Traore has a sticker, I believe, from 2016. I was able to find some very cheap, where his rookie card is in Prism of last year, and it's hitting about $30. I think that card could be 50 or 60 within. If he has a 2-goal game, it's going to double. Yeah. So, so just an example of, you can go find, if you find sources for stickers and the guy doesn't have that many cards, doesn't have any cards at all, you can probably get them at a really good price.
Yeah, those are some good thoughts. And I think We kind of nailed it at the beginning, or we hit a little lull between seasons, and that's in any sport, right? You see,
Yeah, I mean, money just shifted. I mean, money shifted to other sports. It went to basketball. It went to baseball. It went to football. Look at what happened in the football market. Football exploded come June. What's happening in the football market right now? Fantasy football is driving the market. Why did receivers and running backs go up? Fantasy football. All the new people coming into the market that looked at quarterback prices and said, this is crazy. Why am I paying crazy money on a guy that's played one game or half a dozen games and is on a bad team, and I don't know what he's going to do, versus a guy who's got 10 years in the bank, going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, that the whole issue with football has always been injury risk. And so running backs, I don't want to segue too far, but running backs certainly have a window, probably a 5-year window, and then you probably want to jump off. But, receivers have a 10, 12-year window. Quarterbacks, 12, 15-year window, if not 20. So soccer, same thing. All these guys from soccer are coming in at 16, 17, 18 years old. 25 is prime. 27 is prime, just like baseball. Baseball players, the market for soccer and baseball, if you look at it, it's very similar from a player age perspective. The international kids sign at 16. The high school kids sign at 17, 18. When they get to the bigs, hopefully they're 19, 20, and those are the uber elite prospects. And that's, what's going on with soccer. The uber elite prospects are just hitting the field at 16, 17, 18, and then getting playing time 2 or 3 years later, like a Phil Foden for Man City, who now is going to probably have a huge jump this year because he's going to get significant playing time. But the point being is, prime is around 27, soccer maybe a little bit earlier, and then 32, 33, these guys are ready to kind of move on. But they have, 10, 12, 15-year careers, and that's another thing that's great about soccer.
That's interesting. So when you look at a guy like Jude Bellingham or somebody young coming in, this first card, is the approach there, they're so young, play it quickly and move on, or start hoarding because they're so young and you're going to have a few years to kind of ramp off?
Well, so here's what we've seen. A year ago, it might have been the case. Now it certainly doesn't appear so because of what's happened with grading. So Bundesliga Chrome this year was sitting around 300-400 a box, wasn't really doing, it was settling in, and all of a sudden it went to 600-700. Well, what happened was Holland, the high-end Holland stuff, the graded stuff started hitting eBay, and the Reina stuff started hitting eBay, and they were commanding massive money. And the Reina stuff has really, there's some $5,000 Reina stuff sitting out there that people were putting out there, and that's why those boxes started to go. So I think that right now, because we get so few rookie cards in soccer, you have to hold. Now, I would say in some instances I have sold. I did pop a Holland refractor rookie. In some instances, I just wanted to recoup my money on the buy and then put aside some of the other ones to hold. But for right now, I would say if you can hold rookies in soccer, do it. And like I sold some insert type stuff. Sold duplicates, or just try to, if a guy went like Tyler Adams went from being like a $5 card to a $30 card. Yep. Maybe I have 5 of them and I'll sell 2 just to, kind of recoup and get the ROI and see what happens. But for the most part, because these guys have so few rookie cards and because it doesn't take much to move the needle, it really doesn't make sense to sell, and it makes sense to send them in to get graded if you can.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good advice. Back to the ages. So you're saying we're past our prime in the soccer world. You and I don't have a shot. Got it. Got it. We need to run some analytics to see what the prime age is for podcasters. Where do you hit your prime for that age?
Oh, God. 32.
All right, cool. Yeah, those are some good thoughts. As you're talking there, I'm thinking, okay, I'm writing down some of these names. I don't want to go too far down this path, but I know it's a question that comes up a lot in the Discord. What are your preferred platforms right now to kind of buy and sell? Obviously, eBay is the standard right now, but Mercari, ComC, where should people be focusing? StarStock's not
right.
Yeah,
believe it or not, Facebook, Instagram. Facebook soccer groups is really your number one spot because you've got some mega collectors in there, super collectors that are sitting on a boatload of stuff. And if you come with money and you're willing to pay market, one of the frustrating things I see on Facebook, and it just feels, and I don't know why people do this. Somebody puts out a card at a fair price, $50. They automatically say, "Will you take 40? Just buy the card. Just buy it." I mean, I had that happen yesterday on Michael Porter stuff. I had some Porter stuff, Prism. I still had 2 bases left over. I think I had them out there for like $47, $48. And a guy comes to me, he's like, "Oh, will you take 2 for 80?" And I'm like, "You know what you just did? You just made me raise my price." Because now I go and I say, "Hey, you know what? I'll bump it up to 60 because I don't care if I sell it. And if you want to pay my price, you pay my price."
Yeah.
And so that, just a general tip on buying cards, I made a huge mistake. I had a couple of months ago, I think it was right when Pulisic had that huge game for Chelsea and had that big time goal. And I had an opportunity to get a silver for about $50. And it was about market, or it was a little bit more than market. And I knew that was a tough card, and I knew where that card could go. And I just did what I told everybody not to do. I tried to get it for market, and the guy rejected it. And guess what? Now that card is worth significantly more than what I should have. I should have just bought the darn card. So anyway, with soccer, because my point is with soccer, if you find something and it's a little above market, just buy it because it's going to jump so exponential and you're not going to be able to find it. You're not going to be able to go back and get it. It's going to be a lot more expensive when you do. So just pay the extra, pay the market.
Yeah, that's great advice.
But going back, Facebook, Instagram is my go-to for soccer. eBay, yes, to an extent. If I just can't find stuff and I want stuff quick and I don't want to do the legwork and post and ask. ComC, yes, has a lot of inventory, but the pricing is expensive. I mean, ComC prices on soccer they're juiced. I mean, there's absolutely, it's tough. It's tough. So, I mean, you got to dig, or you got to be willing to pay the premium. And in some instances, it does make sense if you're getting quantity. I'm a big proponent. If I'm getting quantity on something, I'll pay. Because I don't want to fart around with waiting for shipping and paying $4 on every. I'll just buy it. But I'd say it's unfortunate that ComC is having all sorts of issues with shipping and how fast it gets to you. Because I don't necessarily, do I want to flip it on ComC or do I want to take it to another channel and move it that way? So, but ComC is a good resource because they do have so much inventory. I use it for informational purposes. I don't buy a lot on there. I look at, how much of a card is out there. What's it moving at? Hey, what can I go buy it for on eBay? Sometimes Beckett is a good source. There's a handful of dealers on Beckett Marketplace that do have inventory on soccer, but I just checked the other day on 3 of my guys and their inventory. It's pretty thin. I mean, everything has been picked. So,
yeah. Well, I feel like in soccer, it's kind of the anomaly, right? There's just no supply. The print runs were so low.
Yeah.
Just is what it is for the older stuff. To your point on ComC, probably a topic for another day, but they've kind of missed the mark recently. They've had an opportunity to strike while the iron was hot, and they missed it.
A year ago, I bet you 90% of my money was spent on ComC. Now it's 0. So that goes to tell you right there what.
That's right. And I can't reiterate this enough. Mr. Scott Greenberg, go get us some soccer on Star Stock. We're ready to start moving some cards there. All right. Great stuff. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about product. And maybe we focus a little bit on current products that are out. Maybe give us 2 or 3 names that you're kind of focusing on. And then let's talk a little bit about pre-sales and some stuff coming up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talked about Bundesliga Chrome making a jump. The problem with Bundesliga Chrome is really it's a 2-card product. And then outside of that, it's pretty limited. So I think that the tax that you have to pay on that stuff right now is it's out of my league. I still think Finest, I mean, I still think Finest is a great value because, again, it's champions. It's got everybody in it. It's got numbered parallels. It's got refractors. I know the Finest refractors don't look as good as Prisms or Chrome, but they're still numbered and they're still autos. And so, it's a good product. It's a good break. So Finest, I'm still – and there's a handful of rookies that haven't really broken out yet. Hassoum is really the guy. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but he's getting ready to transfer. Now, he's a guy that was playing in another league that's getting ready to transfer over to a big club, is what it looks like. I think we're talking about Arsenal. And if that's the case, his cards are going to start jumping. And right now he only has one rookie card. So, that's another guy. Yep, there you go. I think that I saw him. No, that's Lewandowski. Okay. But so I think Finest still has some room to grow. And then outside of that, I've already talked about Chronicles. Impeccable, I don't even really look at. That's a one-off product. That's ridiculously priced. Who that's for, I really don't know. But we've got Select coming, and the pre-sales just keep climbing, and it's getting rough. I mean, supposedly, we know about hobby, but supposedly they're going to do hybrid now, and they're supposed to do retail. We'll see. And that's going to be in about 2 weeks, so that's going to be a little bit crazy. It's going to be just crazy. We don't have a checklist, so we don't know we don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to sneak some guys in? We did get an updated release from Topps. We got Museum Bundesliga. We'll check you got the updated list.
You're not getting on Select. The prices are going crazy. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's heavy. The parallels are just going to, yeah.
Wowzers.
Yeah. Yep.
You're talking the prices have doubled in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. What's it gone from like a $400 or $500 product to $700, $800? Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yep. We got Chrome. Well, Chrome, the frustrating part is Chrome UEFA champions got bumped again to the middle of November. That product has been delayed more times than anything in history. Again, don't know why, but once it comes out, it's obviously going to be huge. I mean, the pre-sale, the very little pre-sale numbers we've seen, the product's already been up in the $700, $800 range. So, and then we've got MLS. Topps announced MLS coming out. Hey, that's going to be $100 to $125 a box. Say what you want, but at least so that's coming out mid-October. We've got Bowman obviously coming out soon. That the cutoff date on Bowman is coming up real soon.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's actually a week away.
Yep. So and then we've got Museum UEFA and Museum Bundesliga coming as well. It's funny, Museum, and we've seen this really with baseball too, and I don't know why. It doesn't seem like it's a very popular product. I actually buy Museum rookies in baseball because I feel like the price is so low compared to what the wax is that I'm like, why are these rookie cards so cheap? And the same with soccer. Some of the older museums are numbered cards or just tough to find, and the singles are extremely cheap in comparison to what the wax goes for, if you can even find it. So, I think Museum is being slept on significantly, and look, people are going to want product, and I think it's a one-pack product, so I believe so. You probably know better than me as far as other. I don't break any of that stuff, so. But
yeah, the problem with Museum, though, Michael, is that it's never ever been worth anything on the singles market in any sport. So I'd be kind of hard pressed to think in soccer all of a sudden it becomes worth something.
Well,
except the fact, like you said, there's not any other product available.
It depends. I think so. There's a. I've been pretty high on Bruno Fernandes. He transferred over to Man United. He put up big numbers. And he's got very few cards out there. He's got a museum card. He's got a couple of relics that are beautiful. It's with the green and white uni. And some are autographed, some are numbered, and that card is going anywhere, depending on the version, anywhere from 50 to 150. But again, to your point, if it was an immaculate, it'd probably be worth 10 times that.
Yeah.
So, that's the difference.
That is, yeah. I'm flipping through some museum.
The museum relics are beautiful. The Bruno card is that's a beautiful card. Very hard to find. And you see with the if you can get some of the patches, see the green and the white, and those have jumped a little bit. But yeah, he's got some good stuff. But to your point, nobody's really clamoring for that stuff.
Yeah.
No, they're really not. So, will the market change? Soccer, I think, is a bit of an anomaly because there's just limited supply. But there's still a lot of guys that are very cheap out of museum. That if you go back and search, the cards are pretty affordable.
Yeah. What about older products? And I know there's so many, but I mean, you look at like 18 Prism World Cup, super expensive, maybe 17, 18 Stadium, 16, 17 Select. What of the older products do you think still have a little runway to maybe?
Believe it or not, and this is going to be, it's like we all know what happens. Look at what happened with basketball this year. Christ, hoops. What's hoops now? $400 a box, right?
Oh.
Nobody did it, right? I don't know. I mean, I saw guys selling it for $400 over the weekend.
Yep.
Nobody would have ever imagined that. I bought 3 or 4 boxes of hoops at the beginning of the year, and actually, it was supposed to give them to a friend. He never picked them up. I bought them for $100. He never picked them up. I cracked them. I mean, but the point is, it's hoops. It's 4 times what the original retail price was.
Yeah.
So my point being is that when you have a market, people get priced out, just like singles. They go from Prism, they go to the Optic, they go to the Select, they go to the Chrome.
Yep.
It's the same deal here. What's happening is I bought a case of 1819 Chrome Premier EPL back when it was like $40 a box, and it was pretty much considered junk. Well, the market went up, the stuff was cheap, and now it's $150 a box because the De Bruyne card, there's still refractors, there's numbered refractors, there's autographs. It's still, and that's just what happens. People gravitate to what they can afford and what they think still has room to grow. My point being is, I think the older Topps product, if you can find it, has some significant room because there's rookie cards buried in those products. The older stadium clubs, the gold Premier, the go back 2014, 15, 16, 17. Start looking at who's got rookie cards in those products. I'll give you a prime example. Mohamed Salah, I believe, is 2014 Topps Premier. I've been grabbing some of those and try to go find that stuff. You can't find boxes of that stuff. It's gone. It doesn't exist. But if you can, it may actually be a reasonable price because people aren't focused on it as much. So the Alphonso Davies stuff has bumped up some of the older Topps products. And so anyway, people are going to start going and digging for rookie cards. You got 17 Revolution. That's got Hakim Ziyech is a rookie. Those have gone from $5 to $30. So because he's on Chelsea. So people are going to go hunting for product, and Revolution's been pretty dormant. There's a lot of retail floating around. There's a lot of hanger boxes floating around. And so if it's got a rookie card and it's got parallels or autographs or something, people are going to start chasing it. So I think that's really where the market's going to grow. Obviously, Donruss is going to continue to keep going, and there's certain products that are just going to keep going. But when you're talking about that older stuff that people are digging out, I know people are. There's a 06 Panini product that people are unearthing right now. That is, some of the Mega Crack stuff. Is if they're not a collectible card game like Match Attacks or Adrenaline, and it's a traditional trading card, people are digging and looking and trying to find it because they're breaking it and they're sending it in to get graded because they see the multiplier. They're buying a box for $1,000. Well, maybe it's got a Messi, maybe it's got a Ronaldo, maybe it's got a Zidane, and they're sending him in to get graded and they're getting the returns. So that's what's going on with that.
Well, I got a live shot here. You want to see this? You said they're unearthing some stuff here. This is them finding the product. Here they are now. They just discovered it. So, down there.
Nice.
No, those are some great names. Yeah, it's one of those things where this is becoming a fast moving marketplace where now you have to start zigging when other people are zagging.
It is
right to get ahead of it.
I mean, I've been buying as much. I've been buying kind of blindly optic hollows, just because the centering. We know obviously the issues with the centering. The 18s, the cards look phenomenal. They did the team colors. Just any optic hollows I can get my hands on, I'm just buying if they're cheap. I'm buying anything $1 or less or $2 or less. I'm just buying it blindly until I get 5, 10 of every guy, and then just sit back and wait, because those cards are going to be tough to grade, and we know what happens once somebody gets popular. Those become $20, $30, $40 cards, and you're into them for $1. So
yeah. Good stuff. One kind of final thought from my end is I find it interesting because obviously American sports have become very politicized the last few months. I do think that's kind of helped even draw more interest to the football world, the soccer world, because it's not as political and people are stopping watching NBA and going over here to find this other sport. To me, that's a little bit more of a protected marketplace right now because it's so global, it's so diversified.
I mean, they did do at the end of EPL and like around June, July, there was some BLM, Black Lives Matter, guys are wearing jerseys, which was cool. Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll get some. Let's see if the card companies make insert sets around that. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go that route.
Yeah.
But obviously with NBA, all of the jerseys have a message for the most part.
Yep.
Which is cool. And I got to think that a lot of those cards or photos of those players are going to make it into cards in the upcoming products. So they think that's going to be something that we're going to be able to look back on and say, wow, why did that guy's, jersey say, and then you're going to have some history.
Yeah, no doubt. This is awesome, man. A really informative episode. What do you got coming up in the next couple episodes? I know you're lining up some interviews for some.
Yeah, I think really it's reaching out and getting some of the more expert guys in the industry, whether it's on the more on the soccer side and just got some friends from RotoWire that do an incredible job with soccer content and been doing it for years. And like Niyam Patel, again, there's some good Instagram follows. MP Sports Cards 1 is probably the number one guy, I would tell you. But there's 3 or 4 other guys. Sunday Card Investors is a group of guys, very knowledgeable, and they're young. They're young and they're very knowledgeable. They got a lot of energy. Football Stop is another one. I think it's the Football Stop with a couple of underscores in there. But I really think Instagram is where to go for soccer. Just start looking up some guys and see who's got content. Awesome,
good stuff. Well, your episodes release on Sunday mornings, Bench Clear channel. Great stuff, man. Have yourself.
All right.
Good. All right. See you, Michael.
Thanks.